Welcome back, everybody. I'm Claire Ludes, Executive Director for the Salina Area United Way, and I'm really excited about my new guest I have here. He's been in his role at the Y for 4 months now, but I'm sure a lot of our listeners know him very well. I have Chris Laheka here with me, the Associate Executive Director of the Salina YMCA. That was a mouthful.
That was a mouthful, a long title. Yes, but you got it right.
Yes, I feel so privileged I've got that right. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Well, we better get started because there is so much about the Y that I feel like we could talk all day long. So first and foremost, why don't we start with the mission and goals of the YMCA?
Sure. Yes, the YMCA really encompasses, all ages, everybody, right? From infant, toddler, childcare up to the, I'm not going to go in age, but as old as you can imagine, a coffee drinker that loves that social aspect of just coming to the Y and talking to friends. But youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility are three things that really just surround everything about the YMCA.
Can you share, I know there's a lot, but can you share some of your most utilized programs at the Y?
Yes. So
I'm really making you
No, it's
think.
good. No, it's good. And my mind goes to what people think of the YMCA in general as just a wellness and a gym spot, but there's so much more to it, right, that the people offer. Or that the Y offers. There's gymnastics, there's sports, there is childcare. I would say childcare is probably the biggest thing that sticks out that a lot of people don't know about. So the YMCA has childcare and a food program within that childcare aspect. It's so big that we refer to childcare as its own branch within the YMCA, right? And you're very familiar with this with your work at the United Way because you're a huge supporter and reason that childcare is such a big thing at the YMCA and so successful. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So it's the Y has childcare at the YMCA physically and 3 additional locations. So we actually just opened infant toddler child care location at it's McAdams. It's the old Montessori building over near Oxbow Park.
Yes.
So that's up and running thanks to the help of Schwann's and you guys' support as well. So I would say the child care portion is huge. That there's I don't know the numbers. I'm going to play the new card that I've only been there for 5 months, but how many people utilize the Y childcare that aren't actually gym members?
It's a lot, and I feel like I could maybe work for the Y for a second here because we do so much stuff with you guys. Well, in general, but specifically with the child care component because it is such a big need. You know, to be able to have McAdams now have infant care is huge. You know, prior to McAdams opening, there was only 3 child care facilities in our community that took infant care. And so being able to add McAdams to that now and now have 4 with a few others coming down the pipeline, like you said, it's huge. And we are fortunate, though, like you mentioned, you have childcare, you have your after-school program at the Y, but then you also have 2 other childcare facilities, which make a huge impact in our community.
So you said the after-school program,
Yes.
and it's perfect, too, because my kids utilize the after-school
Mine
program,
too.
so I can speak to that firsthand, that a lot of people probably don't know that the Y partners with the schools. And so after school at Meadowlark, for example, my kids, Skylar and Cooper, 2nd grade and kindergarten, they get done with school, 3:25, and then they go to the gym at Meadowlark, and the YMCA has staff that goes to the schools, several different schools in town that go to the schools and oversee and work with those kids for a couple hours as the Y's kids after school program, but they go to the schools. They don't actually go to the YMCA.
Is that something new? Because I know that in years past that, can you share a little bit? Because they used to get bused. Some schools got bused to the Y.
Yes, that's what I've heard too, that they used to go to the Y, and there was a lot to that. There's so many more logistical components to busing kids and timing and parents getting to the Y, and even capacity at the YMCA and what do you do with all those kids once they're there. So from what I've heard and experienced recently is that it's great to be able to utilize the schools, the gyms, and just send staff to those locations. It just works out for everybody a little bit better.
That's awesome. Well, switching gears just a little bit, let's talk about volunteers, because that is another huge thing with the YMCA that people might not always know, that the YMCA utilizes a lot of volunteers for the things you guys do. So can you share on that?
Yeah. What specific programs
well, okay,
would you
so
say
I guess we can talk about coaching, because you have a lot of volunteers that help with coaching. You have, I'm sure, volunteers that help with some of your food program stuff, correct?
Yes.
Me if I'm wrong. You're really testing me on my knowledge of the YMCA.
No, this is good. And like you said, there's volunteers for everything we do, but I didn't know if there was something that popped up. And you said sports, so I think that's a big one.
Yes.
Because it's pertinent right now. It's every season, actually, it's pertinent. But Jared Goodale is our director of sports, and every season, he's been there about a year, but he's felt the weight of the volunteers full throttle in that year already, that's trying to find quality, not just volunteers, but quality volunteers, right?
Right.
So I think every season, like right now we're in basketball season, so when the registration opens, you get kids and parents that want to, hey, I want to sign my kid up, and now we're a week away from games starting. So basketball games start here in about a week, and Jared's sitting there. He's got his schedule, his full list of people, and he wants to make the schedule for the games, but he's also got his list of teams that don't have coaches. So parents that need to sign up, it's a lot to take on, right? You as a parent, you don't feel like maybe you're an expert as a coach for that sport, and it's a lot to take on because you have to facilitate practices. It's a time commitment for games, but there are parents that step up and coach multiple teams. So there's always a need for volunteers, and that's one big thing that if you have an answer to that, volunteers over everything are always needed. Yeah. But we're actually working with a couple members to highlight the volunteers and the coaches. We're hoping that helps promote some of the positivity, and if you can get some of those coaches' faces out there, familiar faces, promoted a little bit more, we're thinking that might help encourage some other people to step up as volunteers and coaches. It's kind of fun.
It is.
Actually.
It is.
Yeah. I'm sure you've done it at the YMCA.
Well,
Not to put you on the spot if you haven't.
I haven't. I'm going to be completely honest.
I'm
going to tell you why I haven't, okay? I'm competitive.
Yeah.
And my children, my oldest, can definitely vouch for that poor guy. I just tell you what, he just gets the grunt of it because I am competitive. And so I just don't feel like maybe that's good for other people's children to have me as their coach. But I am a proud supporter and will advocate volunteer at the Y all day for you. I can assure you of that. And
what I've seen a lot too that works really well is when parents team up to help volunteer and coach. You don't have to take it on yourself, but a lot of the times there's just several parents to step in there, and people use the term herding cats, and that's all you're doing is you're just kind of helping manage the situation to help the kids have a good time.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Maybe down the road.
All right. You're signed up.
Let's not go that far yet. Let's not. We'll talk. We'll talk. Okay. How about that?
Fair enough.
How about that? So this is a little bit new with you being a part of the Y, but funded partners and our partnership with the YMCA. Can you kind of share a little bit of what that is for you all, and United Way and the Y have a very unique partnership because you are a funded partner, but we've also done a lot of partnership with the child care component. So I guess let's first hit on the funded partner, and then if you could share just a little bit on what the impact of all the child care stuff has been for you all.
Yeah, I know the funded partners it's come and gone in the years.
Correct, yes.
But I know that, like you said, in my short experience with it, that it's a huge plus and bonus and weight lifted. So again, thank you to you guys, you and your team and everyone, all the supporters in town that help support through United Way for the funded partners, because it's nonprofits work. I have worked at the foundation in town, and I've got to work with all the different local nonprofits, and fundraising is always top of mind, and it will be forever.
Yep.
So the fact that we can have somebody else help us do that in a very big way allows us, all of our staff, to focus on different day-to-day operations.
Exactly.
A lot more. So that's just a huge blessing. So we appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And let's talk a little bit about childcare, because we've done a lot with you guys in the last year on childcare. So can you just share a little bit of what you've all been able to do with the dollars we've been able to pull down with opening childcare, and now as we work to help increase wages and things like that?
Yeah, I think the wages, some of those specific dollars, I know you guys work together, and you guys take a big part of the grant writing on as well for some facility and infrastructure items, but the wages portion too, in terms of being more competitive with just life, inflation, and in general, and trying to get quality people to come take care of your kids.
I think that's the big thing. Quality people, unless your kids are specifically being taken care of, you just think, okay, well, just hire some people. Well, you can't just hire anybody. This is important time for our kids, the biggest time for brain development, birth to age 3 and even up until age 5. You want quality people taking care of our children, not just someone that, likes children, which is great, but let's have that education, that expertise, and they've spent the time to get that. So let's pay them what they deserve to be paid with that level of education as well.
Yep. When you talk about paying somebody, you talk about budget, then you talk about operations, and you talk about how much you charge people to help pay for those quality people, right? There's the tough balance of you can't just increase your rates for childcare to get quality people. You want to make it sounds that simple.
It does.
But when you increase the rates to charge people more for quality childcare, well, then on the other end of it, that person is sitting there thinking, okay, now I have to pay this amount of money for childcare. I understand it's quality, but now I have to balance out, is that too much money, or is it better for me to just stay at home and take care of my own child because it's starting to cost so much? So it's a happy medium.
It is. It's a balancing act.
It is a balancing act that everyone is dealing with. So we appreciate you guys taking the initiative to help attack the child care stuff here in Salina.
Yes, as much of a complex issue as it is. I might have a few more gray hairs by the end of it, but it'll be worth it right at the end. As we wrap up, what is one thing that you would like our listeners to take away from this?
Oh, that partnerships are amazing. That so much more happens with partnerships in the community. So I'll say it again, that the United Way is great with reaching out and helping strengthen partnerships and what's possible in the community. I think when you just get people together and have conversations about what's possible is huge. And then I would also throw in a plug for the YMCA, that it's being able to come check it out, the social aspect and the community feel of coming to the Y is great. Like I said, there's simply a group of people that come for coffee for an hour in the morning that enjoy the social atmosphere. So hope to see some more people come in.
I might come socialize with coffee.
You should. And now that we've got you as a youth coach.
Oh gosh, you're not gonna let me live that down. Oh my goodness, we gotta jump off of this, because now I feel like I'm being held to much higher standards now because I have to coach.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. It was so nice to have you. We appreciate all that you guys do, truly, across the board, because you guys at the Y do so much. So thank you.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me on this afternoon.